All right, everyone. So we are playing Mega Bonk today. We did one video on this earlier, but I wanted to do one after I read some news articles talking about how this game has basically been taking off. Taking off. People are absolutely loving this game. And it's interesting because when I first actually bought it, I thought, okay, this is just a cool indie game. Let me play it a little bit. Let me try it out and we'll see what happens. I had no clue it would be a game that all of these people, just like me, were experiencing for the first time. And we're going to go through, we're going to play a little bit now, and we're going to go through a little bit of what the game has to offer to show you guys. If you're someone who hasn't got it yet, I would tell you go ahead and get it. I don't often tell people to go get games, and you can see what it is here. But the reason I'm going to be telling people that if I were them, I'd definitely give it a shot is because this game, it just to me oozes what I loved about gaming back in the day. You look at the graphics on this thing, and it has a cool look to it, right? I mean, but it's not it's not some big budget AAA title graphics, right? You look at the gameplay. The gameplay is actually very simple, right? You don't even hit a button. All you do is move and jump. That's all you have to do. Everything else is done for you. But you could just tell that despite, all of those things and it being an indie game, this hits the crucial thing that all these games have to do, which is you could tell there was a lot of love put into this game. There is so much depth here. There is so much replayability. Like and I'll show you um what I've done so far, but I've played this game for hours and I feel like I haven't even scratched the surface, or even like I was playing the same map over and over again. I wasn't Googling things, I was playing and learning on the fly. And to me, it just becomes this situation where I wish bigger companies, I wish the games that do have the massive budgets would take notes from stuff like this, because there is so much love and attention. And the fact that this game, right, it doesn't come out some type of battle pass. It doesn't come out with a million and one microtransactions and all these things to keep people playing. It literally just has depth. It's just fun, right? That's the whole story behind it, right? We'll get into it more because I'll show you the depth that there is here as we play. But so let's start by I'll explain a little bit, because when I first started playing, I didn't fully understand exactly what was going on here. So basically, you have all of these levels, right? They're all levels, and you got to go through them, and you got to find and beat the boss while upgrading yourself. Now, as you can see here, you have two types of things. You have your weapons and you have your tomes. So the tomes give you different abilities, right? So this is agility. This is a weapon we're going to actually upgrade. Actually, no, we're going to hit agility for this. But as you can see on the top left, you can have three of each. Now, you can't always have three of each. When you first start, you have, I think it's maybe two and one. Um, I think that's what it is, two and one. I don't remember exactly. But as you upgrade, you get more and more, right? But once you select, so as you can see, I'm out of weapons. I can't select any more weapons. So I picked the lightning rod, the one that I already have here, and in the bone, right? And I like doing that with this character. This is one of my favorite characters. It's actually the first one you get too, because I like having a ton of weapons that are long range. It just feels like it's easier to take people out when you do have that, because you could run around versus if you have to be up close. But that's basically the crux of it, right? You go around, you do these different things. I'll show you some of the pillar the pillars. So these are some type of pillar where you have to stand in here. You have to stand in here, and you have to wait. You see that circle, right? You have to wait, and now I get so they're shrines. That's what they are, and you get different things you could select. So that's the whole point. This is what makes it so replayable too, is that you could have a million and one builds within this one character, right? I could come here and have a million and one builds. Oh, I didn't realize there was even a boss here. The stone golem, right? The bosses are tough. They're really annoying at times, but you can have a million and one builds just on this one, right? Just on this one character within this one game. And so you're building your character out as you go. That's what's happening, right? And so every time you play, you restart that. And I think that it's what do they call it? What is it, a roguelike though? Is that what it is? Because you don't start. I don't know if that's what it would be classified as, because you don't actually start with you don't actually start like from the point you left off. So I don't really know what it is, but you keep walking around the map, you find different upgrades, and it's up to you once you find the boss to say, all right, do I want to wait a little bit before I attack him, or do we go now? There's also a time limit, as you can see, and I'll tell you that time limit matters, because the game doesn't end at the timeline or the time limit. What happens is there's a bunch of enemies that end up start spawning, and you could survive a little bit after that time limit is up. But for me, and maybe it's because my character isn't good enough yet for me, I was getting absolutely rocked all the time after that. So as you can see, now I'm full. Okay, so I have all my tomes and my weapons all there, and so now it's all about upgrading those. But as you can see, you could build out a build, right? That's what I'm doing here, is you pick and choose. And so you want to be careful. I didn't realize this until halfway through, because initially I don't think it really matters as much, because you don't have as many unlocks, and it just, you know, it doesn't matter as much to pick and choose. But now that I have so many unlocks, it does matter, because you don't want to pick something you don't want as a tome or as a weapon, because you know what happens if you pick the wrong thing. Now you're stuck with it, and then it really does hinder your ability to. Okay, we're gonna have to. Oh my god, oh, that was not good. We might be in some trouble here. We might be in a little bit of trouble. I gotta regen my health. Let's run around and regen the health. As you can see, you get stuck in a variety of different areas, right? You get stuck in a variety of different areas. Let's. Oh, give me this health. Give me this health. Give me this health. I need it. Okay. All right. Let's regen out of here. Let's regen out of here. I'm trying to find the boss. I don't think I've done a very good job building out this character either, to be completely honest with you right now, because it's not hitting all that great in my honest opinion. And there's also mini bosses, as we've already seen one with the stone. Oh, these guys are so annoying. These guys are so annoying. Oh, I forgot I have, so there must be a level of fire here too that I'm using, because I'm seeing guys getting burned. Perfect. You get, and so as you can see up top, these little blue things you're getting, and you can see that's XP. So that gets you to you XP is a big deal, right? That's a big deal for ranking up, or for leveling up the character, and upgrading your tomes, upgrading your weapons, and you're gonna need all of that, right? You're really gonna need all of that now. I'm trying to run away here. Not doing too bad. We were close to death, but I think we've turned it around a little bit. We were close. I'm just trying to find the boss. The boss isn't in the same spot every time, so you're gonna have to. I mean, it's not. Trust me, it's not, you know, that hard to find. I usually try to get there. I'm a little behind, I would say, but I usually try to at least know where it is by 4, and usually start the process of attacking by 2. So I'm gonna have to be looking for it in a big way, because we're a little bit behind where I want to be. Like I said, once that time limit runs out, it gets significantly tougher to take out the boss. Significantly tougher to take out the boss. I don't know where this boss is right now. I feel like an idiot. I feel like an idiot. Now, this is going to be a big part of this game here, is I'm deciding to go this way instead of back. So, and okay, you're going to see now. So these are swarms that or you see it says swarm incoming. Oh, we might die. We might actually die here. Oh my god, get out. Oh, we didn't even get to show you, but that's actually fine, because we're gonna pick a new character anyways, and we'll try to get to. Maybe I should pick an easier. Maybe I should pick an easier one, because we just got rocked. All right, we'll try a new character. Actually, so let's try calcium, and I want to try tier 3 though. I have beaten tier 3. That's how you actually. No, I've definitely beaten tier 3. So as you can see, now we have a completely different character. He starts with a different weapon. So he starts out with bone, right? As you can see, he starts out with bone as his weapon. He's on this skateboard. So this is the type of depth you have. You saw all the characters at the selection screen. Like, this is kind of the exciting part about this game, is there is so much for you to do, right? All the way throughout. So we'll see. So we have, of course, on this one, we've already found the boss. Here's the boss right down here. I'll show you where it is. There it is. So all you do is you go over here and you hit X on this. Now, we're not going to hit that yet. We're not going to do that yet. Reason for that, it's pretty simple. The bosses are going to be tough. And if you need to make sure that your character is leveled up enough for when you take it on. I've tried getting there quick to do it. It does not help you. All right, let's go around and let's get as many upgrades as we can. I like pickup range as one of the I like pickup range because it lets you, because picking up XP is actually, you wouldn't think that it's hard, but considering you're fighting a lot of these enemies from a distance, you leave a lot of XP just laying around. And I think any way that you could get more of it, right? Like any way you could get more XP than you're used to getting is huge. We're actually going to take a little bit of risk here and go with the XP tome, which gives you a little bit more, gives you, what would it say, 9% extra, right? So that's huge. That's a big deal. That's a real big deal. And I can upgrade it as we go. Now that's a risk because that means I have to get rid of one of my other ones, right? That means when, like, there's HP regen, there's HP buffs, there's, you know, shield. You can see all of this. That's why you have to make decisions, right? There's a lot of risk reward, and there's a lot of replayability on what type of build you think is the best. You know, like I don't know if I should have picked that. I don't know if I wanted those elite spawn increases or not. Oh, you know, I'm gonna have a sword just so we have something that's not long range. As you can see, now we have the sword and the bone. But I like having, let's see, yeah, projectile count, that's good. I like having more of a quick build. I really am more of a fan of the quick builds than the, like, you know, like ones that are just power based. I like being able to move, but I also try to get as many projectiles as I can. Because when you have a bunch of projectiles going, you could take out a bunch of the enemies, and it's interesting because as I play through each level, right, and as I play through each game, I'm going to pick up this. So now I have all my weapons, as you can tell. But as I play through this game, it's funny because you could tell, like, pretty early on when you're playing each round, you're like, man, this build is going great. Like, where there are games where I am just decimating people, right, where it's like I am destroying them. Then you have games like last game where you feel like, you know what, I didn't build this thing out properly, right? Maybe it's because you didn't get, you know, it could be one in a million things as to why it didn't happen for you. But last game, you know, usually when that swarm comes, I'm taking out a bunch of guys. My build just wasn't good enough with that character for what we were up against. You know, I just didn't have the power, and you're not going to completely outrun the swarms because they continue to just spawn in swarms. So it's like you're just not going to be able to, you know, that was just a bad build by me. But once again, that's what makes this kind of fun, because, you know, it's not often. Ooh. All right, we're gonna put evasion on this. I don't know if that was a great idea, but now we're quick and we can evade. So that's, I guess that's pretty good. So let's see. Let's keep it moving. Oh no. Oh no. Hold on. Give me 1 second. My headphones just went super loud in my ear. Okay. So now, so as you can see here, we have golden tome, cooldown tome, silver tome. So this will take cooldown, but you could also skip some of them if you don't like any of what they're giving, right? You could skip some. So, all right, let's see this here. Hold on 1 second. I get my headphones have just gone so loud in my ear. I'm trying to fix it. I got to be careful here. I could die. Got to be very careful here. I could die. Another thing I've kind of realize is that I go after the bosses as quick as I can. I didn't really do it this game because I was trying to show you guys some stuff, but the bosses, they could be a problem because they're the ones that have those, you see the little red things that pop up, you know, when they attack you from a distance. They're a real problem. And so I would tell you, get as many of those as you can out of the way initially. Okay, so we have 5 minutes. I think we're doing pretty good this round. As you can see, we're taking out a decent amount of enemies here pretty easily. And that's kind of the key, right? Oh, I couldn't get that. God damn it. But you can see all the little XP orbs here on the ground, right? And if you're able to go back and get enough of them, like we're doing now, like that's huge, right? You go back, you get a bunch, like you're getting your upgrades, and you need those. You need those. So that's why I like having this is why I like having the arrows or the long things to shoot from a distance, because if you don't, then you're going to miss out on a lot of this because everything you're fighting is in your face, and you just usually you can't really stick in and just stay in one spot. Depends on the character though, because there are literally characters that's what they do, right? Basically. So, but you have to go through and find what's best for you. And this is why I just love this game so much. And I'm so happy I decided to buy it. I'm telling you, this wasn't something where I was like, oh, you know, I heard about Mega Bonk, let me go play it. I just saw it in the store, looked at it, and I said, huh, this seems pretty fun. And then lo and behold, I'm reading articles about it like, oh my God, this indie game has sold millions of copies. And I just couldn't be happier because they deserve it. Like, this is how you're supposed to make a game. I'm going to show you something really cool in a second because this is my favorite power up in the game. You're about to see me rank up 1,000,000 times. So this like thing, just that little magnet, it literally brings in all the XP for you that you have all around the map, which is just quite awesome because you rank up so much. But yeah, I mean, this is what games are supposed to be like. You know, you're supposed to have a game where you find something you like and you put all your effort into it. And, you know, like I said, the game does not look bad, right? This isn't a game where you go, oh, this isn't a good looking game. It has a cool art style. The point is, it's not, you know, it's not a game that is as polished necessarily as some of these big AAA games that cost hundreds of millions of dollars to do, but they don't have anywhere near the love and attention that a game like this has. You could tell the developers had a ton of fun making this game. You could tell they had a great idea. They knew they had a great idea, and now they're delivering it. And my guess is that they're going to continue to deliver on it with more and more, especially now that we've seen the success that it's had. Because there are, I haven't even scratched the surface of this game. I mean, you saw where I was, and I've played, I'd have to check exactly what it says on Steam, but this isn't a game that I just logged on to, right? Like, my guess is I'd have to have played at least 10 hours of this thing. And I'll put in the comments section if I'm way off on that, but I've played a shit ton of this game. And I could play the same map over and over again, because part of it was I was trying to learn on the fly how things actually work. I'm really trying to do that now with a lot of games, is get off of social media, get off of the internet, you know, and just kind of play games as we used to play them. Have that experience of figuring things out on your own instead of having, you know, somebody basically walk you through it. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. Sometimes I still do that, right? You get frustrated with a game and you're like, all right, how am I supposed to do this? But I just wanted to learn things on my own. And you know what? This game has given me that chance, right? And I've really enjoyed it. And it wasn't necessarily a long process either. Like, once you learn how to play, it just all becomes you trying out different characters, right? That's what I was doing too. I was trying to find which character I liked the most. And there were characters that I was like, oh, this kind of sucks to use. But I feel like that's more my play style. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like when like when I was playing this and I was frustrated with a character, it wasn't because the character was not well made or it shouldn't be in the game. It was a character maybe I was bad with, right? That's kind of the point. Which I think is good because you have I haven't even come close to unlocking all the ones you could use, right? And there's so many things that you could buy. It wasn't really, oh, and here's a mini boss while the boss, like, it's things like this, right? So I'm fighting this boss, his name is Little Bark, and he's just a tree, as you saw him. And then I get this other guy, this mini boss that pops up. It's stuff like that. Every time you play, you know, you're dealing with something different. What I'll do too is I actually won't go through the. I'll let the timer run out after we kill the boss so that I can show you what comes next. So you guys can get a look at that as well. Oh god, where is this boss, by the way? This mini boss is actually really hurting me now. This is a real problem. Okay, there's the big boss. You can see him now. You can see the big boss now. And then there's the mini boss. The big tree-looking guy is the mini boss. But now that I have the mini boss and the big boss after me, this is a problem because they're hitting me from far away. Let's see this. Let's see this. Oh no. Let's keep with evasion. Let's hope. So I kind of went with, I went less power build on this one, and I went more movement, and it certainly seems to have worked out so far. This shield is a big help. Let me use it to... The only problem is, as you can see, because we went with a more movement build, we're not doing the same, you know, we're not doing the same kind of damage that, like, I've had characters that have, I think there was one time I killed this boss in like less than 30 seconds. I got some achievement for it because some of the builds you can make up are crazy. But I'm going to continue with evasion just because if I get caught, you know, I want to be able to get out. All right, can we get Little Bark down here? Am I within? No. Oh, no. Oh, actually, you know how I said we were going to wait after we killed the boss? Well, because we got the mini boss in here, we're going to be actually fighting off against, and I'll show you what happens. So, oh, no. Oh, there's a nuke right next to him. So you see these little white ghosts? They're tough, but they get tougher. They get a lot tougher. Okay, so we took out the main boss with... We just took out the main boss with that nuke. And, oh, we must have got... Wow, this is huge. We're just getting ranked up a million times now. This is great. This is great. All right, I can take out the mini boss now for sure. So what happens is now you can go into, and we'll go into the portal as well, but you can go back into the boss's portal. There have been times in missions where you can't go into the portal, so that's just something to keep in mind. But all of these guys spawn in now. You see these white ghosts. Now it looks pretty easy for now, but you're going to see in a little bit how tough it's going to get. So I might have to... I kind of want to show you guys the portal too, though. That's the only thing I'm a little worried about here. Let's try to work this the best we can. So I'm going to get in, but it gets a lot tougher. Let me put it that way. So we went into the portal. All right. So let's do this thing. Okay. So now... I guess you can find another boss portal on these, but these get significantly harder. Once you go through these portals, it gets significantly harder, I will say. So just keep that in mind. Oh, we just got the feather, which lets me jump a lot higher. I will say, when you're first starting, I think going for mobility and jumping makes this game a lot easier. Because, like, the ability to jump allows you to get away from... Because you can get cornered in this game pretty easy. I'm sure you guys have... Oh, I did not want that one, but that's fine. I'm sure you guys have seen that, you know, throughout this, just me playing now. But you can get cornered pretty easy, and jumping is the only real way you're going to get out of there. So I would say early on, I liked going for jumping. Now, you notice, or you might be noticing, actually, let's sit here so we can buy some stuff from this guy. Actually, well, how much does it cost for what I want? Let's see. 1900. Okay, 1900 money. So one thing you'll notice is that my health remains low, and the reason for that is because when I was picking my tomes, I did not pick health regen. So that's one of the things I'm talking about, where when you are choosing your tomes, you can leave something very important out, and I don't mind it because I figured we weren't going to need it for that, but you could tell it has a huge impact now on this run, right? Because I'm not actually healing, right? I'm not healing from where unless I get those little red power-ups that are health, I'm not healing. So you got to find those instead. Otherwise, you can get health regen, which will heal you, right, as you go. So those are the type of decisions you have to make throughout the game, and they make it so that it's not easy, right? It's not an easy choice. You wish you could have more, and as you get up in the levels, you get more and more tomes, more and more weapons that you can have. We're trying to sit here real quick and so that I can get that bomb one, but I don't. We're also not as powerful here as you could tell, but I'm trying to get enough. So we're getting close, I think. Right, we should be able to get pretty close here to. I love these little guys. They sell great stuff. I mean, having a bomb explode and take out a bunch is huge. Now this is where I was telling you things get a lot tougher. We now have 2 mini bosses just spawn in at 70,000 health. So I'm gonna die. Let's just call it what it is. Okay, I'm gonna die. There's really no way we're taking them out. Just to be honest with you, just being completely upfront, I'm probably not taking these guys out. We're gonna try our best, but probably not going to. But yeah, that's not great. But this game, there's a lot of, you could just tell a lot of love was put into it, you know, and in a world of, you know, like modern gaming where it feels like all these games are built on look, right? They're built on the bells and whistles of how can I package this great for a trailer? And then when you play the game, there's a lot lacking, right? There's no real depth. It's not, it doesn't have it's not memorable. Like there's a lot of games that I have to play for this channel that I think are good, right? But after I'm done making the videos for this channel, I never play them again, right? And the interesting thing was when I first played this game, you know, I viewed it as, well, it looks cool. I'm gonna try it and I can make a video. Don't know how popular it will be. That's fine. But the interesting thing about this game is that I found myself trying to find excuses to make videos on it, which is why when I saw the article talking about how good it's doing sales-wise, I was like, are you kidding me? That's like the perfect reason to be able to play and make a video on it. Like this is giving me an excuse to play, and I find myself playing this game, right? Even and like trying to find an excuse to make content on this game. So you're going to see randomly Mega Bonk content on this channel just because I'm going to be playing it. Like this game, there is so much here. I just look, bottom line is I really want to be playing it. So we're going to unlock the boss. As you can see, it has almost 800,000 in health. So we're not going to win this, okay? We're probably not winning this. There's almost a 0% chance we win this. But this leads you to, like, as you get rank up, right? Your characters get more powerful. You have more tomes. You have this. You have that. It becomes a situation where you could possibly succeed. I've really struggled to even, I mean, look how crazy this is. I mean, look at the types of just craziness that ensue when you're playing this game. And this is why I was telling you the jumping is such a big deal, because jumping like this, and this is actually cool because we get to slow down a little bit of time, but jumping lets you get out of these things a lot easier, right? Like the movement is kind of insane of what you could put together when you have a good jumping ability. It allows you to get over all of these enemies, whereas if you had to run through these, we'd already be dead. It'd be it, right? That it would be over. And so I guess this gives us a slight chance. I messed up on my jump there, and I don't have health regen, so we're gonna need health quickly. And that's it. That's us dying. Okay, that's fine. I guess that's fine. Damn it, dude. I'm pissed. All right, so before we end this, I'm going to show you some of the unlocks. So these are all the different characters, and it shows you how to unlock each one. Okay? So get Thorn Tomes to level 9 and buy a certain weapon. These are all the different weapons you can unlock, and this is how you get them. Okay? These are all the tomes you can unlock, and this is how you get them. These are all the items you can unlock, and this is how you get them. So, and the cool thing is that they're unlocks that you wouldn't always expect, right? So some of them make sense. Complete Force Tier 3 and then buy a certain weapon. Okay. But you have other ones that are like buy weapon dice and complete 100 quests. Or this one, get Thorn's Tome to level 9. So you may not use the Thorn's Tome, but now you have to get it to level 9, right? So it just, I think there's so much here. Each one of these characters plays differently. Like, I'm telling you, well, I shouldn't say each one plays like crazy different, but there are ones that play, like to me, okay, this Fox and this one right here, Robinette, they're different characters, they have different weapons, and they do play slightly differently. But 1, 2, and 3 are all using, weapons that you shoot. Whereas with the knight here, and I guess calcium is also, but calcium's in its own thing, right? Now this is someone who has a sword, right? Starts with a sword. Mega Chad, very slow mover. Okay, Ogre, very slow mover. This one's kind of in the middle, but still, like, my point is that there is so much here, right? There is so much different stuff here, and so they deserve just a ton of credit for all of this, in my opinion, because it just, like I said, there you could spend hours playing this game, and as you can see, like if I go to Mega Chad here, like there's a desert tier. Like I don't know how many things. This might be it, right? There might be just these two, but the problem is there's speed run. Like there are just so many things that you could do. Like as you can tell, I've done 32 runs with this, rank 28. You can rank up each one as you go through. There is just so much you could do. You could buy the different skins, right? Like look at, I didn't even realize I could buy this, so I could. I mean, like just little things like this that add to the game, and I hope they continue to add because it really is an impressive game. And so kudos to them. And you're going to be seeing more Mega Blanc content, okay? Because I love this game. Thank you all for